When Kobe and I decided to create a podcast and coined it the Father Son Podcast, most would feel this is a gimmick for the podcast, and that couldn't be further from the truth. From the day Kobe was born, I introduced him to video games. This was a way of life for me, as I can remember my father buying me the Odyssey home system, where the cellophane field that clung to the TV determined what game you were playing. Kobe's love for video games grew, as did the bond of a father and a son. When I introduced him to online play, his world opened to new heights. He learned quickly that the incredible gaming experience wasn't just something shared between a father and a son, but there was an entire world that shared his passion for gaming. Gaming was just part of his upbringing, as school or sports was. We always made arrangements that a video game experience was just an arm's length away, even when we went on vacation. As Kobe got older, our experience took us to the road, experiencing events like the Great E3 to more modern events like Summer Game Fest, the Xbox Experience, IGN, and PAX. Kobe graduated from college and now works in the video game industry on the Xbox team. So, as you can see, it was nothing but natural progression to now share our experience and love of the industry through our podcast. Now sit back and enjoy the ride.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Father and Son Gaming Podcast right here on Active Reload Gaming. We are pre-recording this on, once again, November 23rd, 2025. So if any kind of big news comes out in between today and the next time that we see you guys live, we'll report on it probably on our Discord, or maybe we'll do it in the next podcast, or maybe an emergency one of some sorts. But I don't know how that one's going to be doing because I'm going home to see him and my mom. So, it's just a lot of things happening. It's the holiday season, so that's why we are pre-recording these for you guys, just to make sure that there is something for you to listen to. With that being said, Dad, how you doing?
Not too bad. Pretty excited for you to come home. And I guess when people are watching this, you have already been home and on your way back to Seattle.
I will be on a plane back to this place by the time this one is live. But yeah, so today we're just going to be going over why 2026 is going to be such a stacked year for video games. And, this year, 2025, is probably arguably one of the best, if not the best years in gaming. So, but it looks like 2026 is coming out swinging too. We're going to have a lot of heavy hitting titles. And we're going to be going over our most anticipated ones. But I'm also going to be going over ones that we don't have videos for. And we're going to be talking about more in depth. I do want to shed light on because there's so many games coming out, some that people might not even know about. So I think it's going to be good to highlight that. But that being said, you can follow us on all of our socials right up here. I'll roll through the whole list because not everything is on there. On Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, and Blue Sky, we're at Active Reload Gaming. On Spotify, it might also come up as the Father and Son Gaming Podcast. So just look up either or. On Twitter or X and Twitch, we're at ActiveRel. That is with an REL, ActiveRel Gaming. In the top left corner above my head is our Discord QR code. Feel free to scan it and join our Discord and start chatting with us. We're trying to build a community of people who love gaming and want to talk about gaming or anything else gaming related, such as retro games, gaming pickups, news, etc. So feel free, join, and start chatting away with us. We are live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. So stay tuned for that. And feel free to hit that like button, subscribe, and so on. So with that being said, we are in the midst of the end of 2025. The Game Awards are well on their way. So, we're going to be looking back on that very soon, as we do have the Game of the Year podcast coming up on December 8th. Very excited about that one. You should stay tuned for that. We do have a lot of special guests incoming. We're trying to make this one a good blowout for the rest of the year. Do you have anything to say about anything that I just said?
Yeah, just again, stay tuned for that December 8th because we have some, again, pretty predominant podcasters in the industry going to be joining us. And we're really excited that I think we're finally going to get that Father-Son podcast kind of moving up in the ranks and recognizing us by getting some good solid superstars coming in to chat with us.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. Hopefully it all works out as we're planning right now. And it's going to be here before we know it, as it's already The end of November. Crazy how time flies. It's going to be 2026 before we know it, which means a whole new slate of games coming out for the rest of next year.
And I still didn't finish my 2025 games.
Yeah, and that's going to be the problem is I do have a lot of 2025 games still in my backlog. And geez, with the titles coming up here in 2026, I am getting very nervous for my backlog and what's to come. But what is your hype level for 2026 to start without getting into the high level, not getting deep into the actual games, but looking at the slate of things coming out? Obviously, we do have known release dates. We do have one juggernaut that's everyone's kind of passing by. We're going to talk about that first once we get into our actual list. But what's your hype check for 2026? Do you think it's going to be better this year than this year? Do you think it's going to be equal? Or is there really only one game that you're really looking forward to?
No, I'm actually, again, this is just my opinion, but I think 2026 is going to be better than 2025. I'm super stoked about 2026. Now, with the juggernaut that we're all talking about, depending if they decide to shift gears again and move it somewhere different, that's going to depend on what the rest of the industry does. Because, I've read in numerous times already, people, when they shifted it from May to November, that I know studios are shifting stuff again. So
Yeah.
I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. But if everything stays in place the way it is, I'm super stoked about 2026.
Yeah, and I do want to ask before we get into our list, because I know that I asked you to do a list beforehand. Is there any game that wasn't on your list that is an honorable mention? Because I do have some honorable mentions here from my side.
Nothing that I can think of again, and I might agree with your honorable mentions, but
Yeah.
nothing that I can think of. Like I put down the games that I'm super stoked, like, first day, can't wait to put it in the console, can't wait to play it, games. Like
Yeah.
that's the list that I kind of put together.
Yeah, I just want to give a few shout outs to games that we don't have listed right now. The first one being 007 First Light, the new game that is made by the Hitman team. This is taking on the James Bond universe, and you're going to be playing James Bond early in his career. The reason why this one didn't make my list is some of the footage does look pretty rough in terms of performance, and I think some of the pacing in the game felt a little off while watching it, especially the driving sections of the game. There was just something about it that felt like it was kind of missing something that I was like, okay, we could go one step further than we actually are. That being said, there is still time. It is coming out in March, I believe. It is coming out March 27th. So there is still a lot of time between now and then to fully polish the game up. But that's one of my honorable mentions because I'm cautious about 007 First Light, but I'm a big James Bond fan. I would like to get into that universe and play a younger James Bond and see what they're actually cooking up and kind of the gameplay style that they're going for. Do you have any inkling or excitement for James Bond?
Yeah, I don't, but with the Hitman Studios behind it, the Hitman franchise is solid. So, I think if they polish it, it can do the James Bond some justice, the
Yeah.
franchise some justice. But again, I look at that and say, if there's nothing else out for 2026, I'd rather go play some of my backlogs that I think are better than the excitement that it's going to be for the 007.
Yeah. The next one that I have here is Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. It is the new 4v4 tag team Marvel fighting game that is very reminiscent of Marvel versus Capcom. I am very excited for this game, but I have one fighting game on my list that just edges it out a little bit because I like the IP a lot, and I'm super excited to see what they do with it. But Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, it is made by Arc System Works. I totally trust them. They've made Dragon Ball Fighters. They've made Guilty Gear Strive, the whole Guilty Gear series. They've made a lot of good fighting games, and them taking on the Marvel franchise and actually getting in and making a new 4v4 tag team. I think it's going to be interesting, but I'm also cautiously optimistic again because tag teams have usually been 2s or 3s. There's never been a 4 done, and I haven't had my hands on the sticks yet. From a visual standpoint, it looks phenomenal. It looks like a comic book just jumping off the page, but I want to feel how the 4v4 feels in action before I get super excited. I unfortunately missed the last closed beta, so I entered for the next one coming up, hoping to get in.
Yeah, when it comes to a fighting game other than Mortal Kombat, like, yeah, I get excited about it. I'll play it for a week or so, and then I kinda get bored of it. So, I don't know that I would put this on my 2026 list, but of course, I would give it a shot.
Yeah. The next one is Neo 3. Neo 3 is the third installment in this as the Souls-like franchise. I love Souls types games. And yeah, I'm super excited for it. Not really much more to say, but it is a good Souls-like game.
Do they have a difficulty
No,
slider on it? Oh,
no,
and I'm probably not gonna play
no.
it.
And finally, the last one I want to talk about is the Dusk Bloods. The Dusk Bloods is the new title from Software. Now, usually that would be on my most anticipated list, but there's a huge but. It is a multiplayer only title, and it's going to only be on the Switch 2. And I have heard a lot of rumblings that the Elden Ring port of Switch 2 kind of runs a little bit poorly. So I am very cautious. You know, it is directed by Miyazaki. Miyazaki is the GOAT of the Souls franchise. And that being said, I I want to have hope for this, but there could be a lot of errors with it because Nintendo Switch Online is not great either. Nintendo has never been known for their netcode. Their netcode has been kind of bad. So I think this game has an uphill battle that it absolutely needs to fight. But I am so excited for a new Miyazaki title. I will always be there day one for a From game. So that's just why it's in my honorable mention list before going into my actual list itself.
I'll pass on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. It's not your kind of game, but it
Correct.
is what it is. But I want to get into some of the actual heat that is coming out in 2026 and games from both perspectives. And a lot of your list is actually what I'm also most excited for as well. So we do have a lot of crossover.
Which I think is gonna resonate with a lot of our audience as well.
Yeah.
I just think that there's big franchises coming out in 2026.
So the first one, no surprise, is Grand Theft Auto 6. This is the big juggernaut that we were alluding to. It's Grand Theft Auto. What do you want to say about this that hasn't already been said about GTA 6? And let me ask you, do you actually think it's going to be coming out now in November?
I think it will. And again, I go back and I said this in previous podcasts that it kind of ran the same thing as was it Red Dead 2 that came out the
Yeah,
same
Red
way?
Dead 2 had a very similar structure to what GTA 6 is doing with its release schedule.
Correct. And I just think that it's gonna hit hard. Again, we've said this numerous times. There's gonna be, economic impact from it. It's just I can't in the history of me gaming, I don't know that I can pinpoint any game that's had this much hype around it. You know, billion-dollar game, blah 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 blah, multi-billion-dollar game. All this hype. I just think it's gonna hit hard and
Yeah.
it's gonna bring the video game industry to a screeching halt because everybody's gonna be playing this.
Yeah, and I've been on record to say like I am excited for GTA 6, but I haven't reached this immeasurable amounts of hype just yet because there's only been two cinematic trailers realistically. And yeah, the actual graphical fidelity and the presentation of this thing is insane. Like there is so much detail that is in these trailers that getting borderline realistic at this point where it could pass off to a movie to the unkeen eye. But I like I said before, and I'll say it again. I want to see why this is going to be a $1 billion game to make me get that immeasurable amounts of hype. Like right now, I'm just keeping in check. Like I'm excited, but I'm not like, oh my god, I need this today. Like I am happy that Rockstar is taking their time because Red Dead 2 ended up being one of the best games of all time. So let them take their time, let them cook with GTA 6. It'll be here. It'll get here one day. But I just want to see what's going to make this game the next evolution of Grand Theft Auto because it has been at this point now 13 years since Grand Theft Auto 5. What is going to make it that long in between? I want to know that.
Now, I don't know if these rumors are true, but they said to play this at maximum settings, like the current generation consoles can't even play this at maximum settings. And the irony behind it is you need a good computer and the computer like they don't release that for what, a year
Well,
later?
I won't comment on anything because we don't have any hard details from Rockstar themselves. This is all just hearsay. So
Right.
I will wait until Rockstar comes out. Red Dead 2, the graphical presentation on that was insane. It ran on Xbox One and PS4. So I'm gonna let it simmer and see what they do. They're gonna optimize it. These games are usually pretty optimized, so we'll see what
Fair
happens
enough.
with GTA 6. Do you have anything else to say? It's GTA 6.
It's GTA 6. That's the best you can say.
Yeah. The next up that we were both excited for is Resident Evil or Requiem. Why you put this down? What has you super excited for Resident Evil 9 Requiem?
Well, first we played this out at PAX,
We did.
and to me, after playing it, it just really catapulted front of my list because I think it's going to be a different twist. Again, I could be totally wrong, but what we played a different twist on the Resident Evil play. And again, I'm so entrenched in horror games right now that I just think that this one's going to hit hard and hit big
Yeah.
for the Resident Evil fans.
I mean, from what we played, this one definitely feels like a lot lower than a Resident Evil 7. But I do think that they are hiding a lot about this game still. I still think that they're hiding Leon Kennedy. I think, if you're going back to Raccoon City, Leon Kennedy is going to be there in some way or another. And to what extent, I'm not sure yet, but I do think he's going to be a playable character. I mean, there's already been a whole bunch of leaks that, and apparently the Sony Portuguese website mentioned Leon in the DLs in the pre-order bonuses, but he's been hidden everywhere else, and that wasn't supposed to be there. And the pre-order bonuses, like if you look at the page, it does look a little sketchy because it's like, yeah, here's like a skin plus 5 more, and it's like, okay, what are those 5 more skins? It's like, who are you hiding? Like, I know they keep saying no, that she's the main character. We're only playing as her, and so on. But Resident Evil 7 is my favorite Resident Evil of all time, and this one mimicking the horrors of that and the gameplay style of that has me super stoked. And the demo we played at PAX was pretty damn scary. So I think they're going to be elevating the fear of it all to a new extent.
Yeah, and that's what I'm excited for is that elevated horror aspect of it.
Yeah.
And going, like you said, and going back to Raccoon City. Love that.
Yeah, I mean, we just had Resident Evil 2 remake in 2019, I believe. I think that was the year. So it is going to be fun to see Raccoon City again post what happened in Resident Evil 2, along with the updated RE engine. I mean, the graphics here are the visual fidelity of this all looks very stellar. So I am super excited to see what Requiem really does and what it's going to do new for the Resident Evil franchise, because each Resident Evil game has done something very different than the other. So I still refuse to believe that it's just going to be like Resident Evil 7 again. They're going to do something very different, and they're just kind of hiding it. And I think we're not supposed to know until we actually get our hands on the game and play it front to back.
And as you see here in the video, the way they played in the demo that we played, the way they played with the light and the dark was really, really ahead of its game here, and really made it feel that horror that they're trying to push across.
Yeah, 100%. And this one comes out very soon. It actually comes out on
March? No?
February 27th is the release date. So 3 months away at this point. Resident Evil Requiem is imminent, so we don't have too much longer to wait.
I got to clear my schedule.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be clearing the schedule. I mean, looking at the other games coming out in February, this is going to be the big one for me. I don't see myself really investing into much of the other games in February besides Resident Evil Requiem. So thank God for January and February. I can catch up on some 2025 games as well. The next game that you put down is another one that we played at PAX. We also interviewed the developers of it at PAX, and that is Valor Mortis. What do you want to say about Valor Mortis? Because you've been shouting from the rooftops about Valor Mortis for quite a bit now.
I just like that it's a different era. I'm a history buff, so I like history, and I like games that kind of do altered history. And this is during kind of the Napoleonic era.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings my love of history. 1, 2, I can't remember the last time that there was a Napoleonic era type game.
Yeah.
3, it brings in one of my favorite franchise feels. It has a very good BioShock-esque feel to it, and we played it, and I absolutely love the mechanics of it. I like the gameplay of it, so I am really looking forward to Valor Mortis. Plus, it's an indie type game, it's not a
Yeah.
big studio, so I'm always rooting for the smaller guy to take those chances because unfortunately, in today's gaming, environment, it's got to be these independents that take the chances anymore because the big studios are going to keep putting out, the Call of Duties and the stuff, the Maddens that are easily rinse and repeat for them because they know they're going to make money off them.
Yeah, Valor Mortis was a great one to play at PAX. I was super impressed with the gameplay for how early on it was in development still. I did get access to the playtest on Steam, so I have played a little bit more of the game, and I'm very excited to see what the full release is going to be. They're also touting this as a first-person Souls-like, so it does have some challenging combat to it. But yeah, I think it plays great. I think the setting of it is unique, and the developers were absolutely awesome. They're a Polish team, so they were very passionate about their work and getting this game into the forefront. So very happy to see that this is getting a lot more attention, and I'm excited to see where Valor Mortis goes into next year. The next game is a very much a different one than the last few. The last few have been pretty gritty. This one is going to be a lot more lighthearted. This one is High on Life 2. You put this here. We both played High on Life 1. I really liked High on Life 1. It was created by the Rick and Morty creator, and had that Rick and Morty sense of humor. And it was just a very bombastic game with a lot of poop jokes, dirty humor, stuff like that. So I want to pass off to you first. What drew you to High on Life, and why do you want to come back to High on Life?
Well, again, I played it just because it was the Rick and Morty, and it had that humor, that undertone of it. So that's what drew me to try it. And then I just thought it was a really fun game that had some challenges to it, but um, it was fun. It was relaxing, and I liked the art style in it, and the story was actually pretty funny and pretty good.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait to get back to it. And for those of you that didn't play it, as you're looking, your weapons speak to you. The
Yeah.
weapons are kind of alive, and they're each one has its own personality. Some of them are very snarky, some of them are very funny. But I played it. I finished the High on Life 1. In fact, I think we met because we got the High on Life
We met the comic book creator
comic
for
book
it.
creator for it. And but that's what I can't wait because I absolutely loved the first game and thought it was fun. And it's not a white knuckler. It's one to sit back and just enjoy the game.
Yeah, I think it's very funny, and I like all the main story is fun, but it's all the random side crap that you can find that is even more fun, and just the weirdness of this world. But yeah, High on Life is a great one. I really enjoy this. I'm excited for it. I don't think it's one of my most anticipated games, but I'm excited to see how they take High on Life to the next step and what it's actually going to entail, along with not having Justin Roiland behind the seat anymore, helping design the story. So there is a lot, with Squanch Games. I implore people to look up the Justin Roiland situation after he had to leave the studio. There is a lot about him. So very curious to see what happens next with High on Life. Next up is another game that we both played at PAX, and this is one that I am so excited for. This is Resident Evil is very imminent, and so is this game. So I do have a feeling this game, now that GTA 6 is out of the way, this one might get delayed, but this is Crimson Desert, made by the studio Pearl Abyss, which is a South Korean studio. We played Crimson Desert, and this game rocks. This game is Viking Witcher with anything is possible. I don't know how to explain it. And it also has the sieges of Lord of the Rings to it. There's so much to Crimson Desert that is so invigorating. And it was just felt badass when playing this game. It was a complicated game to learn at first and to play, but once you actually got used to the combo systems and then actually how to navigate this world and combat the enemies, Crimson Desert really jumped to the top of my list for 2026. Right now, this is my most anticipated game of 2026.
Yeah, I would agree. And like you said, what I was going to say, it was very Witcher-esque. Like that's the feel that I got out of it. And again, me with complicated controls, it helped. Like when we did the demo, they actually had somebody standing next to you that would help you. But once you learned it, like I didn't feel that the controls um, in any way, shape, or form were a wall or a boundary to me saying, "Oh, I can't play this because of this." But once you figured it out, it was super super fun. And again, the best thing I can say is if you were a Witcher fan, I can't imagine that you wouldn't like this.
Yeah, fully agree. And like I said, I'm super excited to see what they do. There was a lot of just like different mechanics to this game that I did not anticipate even happening in this style of game. But I'm happy that they're here. And I hope that it is pulled off in the long run. I can't wait to see how long this game's going to be, what the actual open world flow is going to be. Like we got a 50-minute demo at PAX that we got to play. And 50 minutes was not enough to even like understand what this game is going to be. There's going to be so much more than what we saw. But I think Crimson Desert would, if it lands and if it continues to be at the high production that we saw and what these trailers show, this could be an easily a game of the year contender next year.
Yeah, and I will echo that 50 minutes and I wanted more. Like I wanted to stay longer and play this. It was one of the few, 50-minute demos that we were able to play. And I would have stayed another 50 easily to play this.
Yep. But before we move on to the rest of our most excited, anticipated games for the rest of 2026, obviously this list could change as more things happen. We'd like to take a quick word from our website.
Got games you don't play anymore? Turn that collection into cash at ActiveReloadGaming.com. It's fast, it's easy, and you get paid quick. Or if you are looking to buy, check us out on eBay or scroll through our Games by console. Find us at ActiveReloadGaming.com.
And we are back. So the next game that is up is Fable. The new Fable game coming out, last week or earlier today for us, we did talk about how Fable 2 was an absolutely outstanding game. Now, Playground Games, who is the creator of Forza Horizon, they're the main developer, they're actually taking on Fable. Now, obviously I work for Xbox. My opinions or thoughts don't match the company. Fable looks great. I'm so excited for Fable, but I don't know where this game is. Like, this has been in development for a very, very long time. And it was actually supposed to come out this year, but it got pushed back to 2026. We obviously know how good Fable is, but what makes you excited for this version of Fable? Is it the humor that's coming out? Is it the graphical presentation? Is it returning to Albion, the world? Like, what is getting you jazzed about Fable?
Well, I like the fact that here, when you're looking at the video now, you see the similarities to Fable 1, Fable 2. I'm going to ignore Fable 3 because I thought that was kind of a bad game, but it's bringing it to the new graphical fidelity. I'm excited to play as a female character to see where this takes us. I don't know. I'm just such a Fable fan that there's not one thing that I'm going to pinpoint and say, this is why I'm excited. I'm excited because it's Fable. Like, just give me more of the franchise. I really, really loved 1 and 2. Like I said, 3 I played, but and to me, it's okay to have one of the games in a franchise to not fail. I mean, I accept that. That's all just part of it. So we waited too long for Fable to come back out.
Yeah. I mean, there was a Fable that was supposed to be made for the Kinect, and they did another weird Fable. And it's just Fable's been gone for such a long time. But as long as this game can return to the franchise's witty route and the roots of it all, and like the humor and the kind of like the I don't know how to explain it, but just like that witty humor, I think if they can nail the dialogue, this game will be what the fans want. So.
Well, as we said with the Xbox 360 20th anniversary, that Fable 2, was like the Zelda of its time for the Xbox 360. Well, again, I just want to bring that back because it is an Xbox, Zelda-esque type game. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that it comes back.
Next up is something that was it was announced in 2022, I believe, and then we actually just saw footage of the gameplay for the very first time earlier this year at a State of Play, and that is Marvel's Wolverine, developed by Insomniac Games, the development studio that has made Sunset Overdrive and most recently Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2. They're tackling more of the Marvel universe, but this time you are taking on the role of good old Logan or Wolverine, and you're going to be dealing with the X-Men. And they're promising a super R-rated, bloody good mess of a game, and you are going to be feeling the claws of the Wolverine and just hacking and slashing through enemies. And just from what I see visually, this absolutely nails what I would want from a Logan comic or an X-Men comic. I think in terms of the movie world, Logan, the movie, was the closest we've gotten to an amazing Wolverine. Like, I like all the X-Men movies, but Logan was absolutely phenomenal and absolutely nailed what Wolverine can be, especially with the R rating, allowing all the blood and gore, and them going for the full M for mature rating here and seeing the presentation. I am so excited for Wolverine, and I could see this being my favorite Insomniac game once it's all said and done.
Well, again, that's the first thing I look at is I'll give Insomniac the props because I loved all their iterations of Spider-Man. They did Spider-Man justice.
Yeah.
Now you take Wolverine, and I'll echo you, like, you look at the gore, the blood. That's what I want out of my Wolverine, the M for mature. So all the dominoes fall into place for this to be a banger of a game, because Insomniac taking it over and then letting it be M for mature with Wolverine, I think it's going to be that first, iteration of a Wolverine that's what everybody wants. Like, I like when studios give the fans what they actually want. That's what I like about this.
Yeah, I am so excited for this, and I can't wait to see this come out, as this is going to probably be the biggest PlayStation exclusive of next year. So you drop a Marvel game and people are going to flock to it, and that's me. I'm going to flock to it, and I just hope that the story also backs it up as well. That's the only other piece that needs to be into place. The next game I'm just going to let you yap about. This is your shindig, and that is Gears of War E-Day.
Again, anybody that follows our podcast, I'm the biggest Gears of War fan on the planet. And again, when Kobe and I were out in LA 2 years ago,
Yep.
For the Xbox showcase, and they announced E-Day, I think I came out of my seat. Like, going back is what they needed to do. So looking at a young Marcus Phoenix, and then bringing back Dom, no spoilers if you haven't played it for the PlayStation people, but in seeing their relationship grow to what it is in the current iterations. Now, again, I played 4 and 5. I'm not going to dog on them, but they certainly were not up to the standards of what the franchise needs. So going back to the beginning, to me, is what again, just like I said with Insomniac, it's what the fans want. The fans want to get back to the original, see it. I would love to see them take some chances and maybe do some, some flashbacks to the Pendulum Wars, or maybe even some flash forwards to the Gears 1, 2, and 3. You can have it go both ways. So I am just super stoked. Personally, this is going to be my favorite game of the year, just because I'm a massive Gears fan.
Over GTA?
Yeah, for personal reasons. I mean, I just love Gears. There's nothing in my mind that's going to beat the Gears franchise, even though there might have been a couple stumbles along the way in some of the iterations of the franchise. But like I just said earlier, that's okay to me. Take the chances, take different things. I think this is going to put the franchise back on track. I think they should do a trilogy with this. And I'm fine with erasing the ending of Gears 5 and not worrying about it, and give me 3 of these and we'll be good.
What is your ultimate wish for Gears E-Day? Because obviously this is a prequel. Is there anything that you're hoping that they do in this game?
Yeah, again, when I say that they're going to say a trilogy, I think they're going to do a trilogy. So a lot of people think that, oh, this is going to show, all the way up to Marcus going into prison. No spoilers, but I think everybody's had
It's
the
the
chance
opening.
even.
It's the opening 30 seconds of Gears 1. It's not that big of a spoiler.
Correct, but I guess I'm looking for the PlayStation fans. You should have played Reloaded by now, so you would have seen that. But I don't think you're going to see that here. I think the biggest thing that I want to see out of E-Day is watching the Dom Marcus relationship grow. Because if you go back in the lore of Gears, Marcus was best friends with Dom's brother. They both fought in the Pendulum Wars and so forth, and Dom was the younger brother. And then Dom's brother got killed, and that's kind of where Dom said, I'm going to come out, avenge my family. And that's where him and Marcus, and I think that's where you're going to see the E-Day coming in, that I'm going to like the character progression of seeing those two becoming what they are in Gears 1, 2, and 3. So that's where I hope the most comes out, that the storyline is going to be more in showing the dynamic between Dom and Marcus, which they're the two fan favorites of seeing how that relationship grows. So that's what I hope we get out of this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I am known to be a Gears 5 hater. I don't think Gears 5 is a great game. I think the design philosophy of Gears 5 really got in the way of what Gears of War is supposed to be, in my opinion. I appreciate them doing a swing with the open world sections, but I just don't think it worked. I think it severely hindered the actual pacing of the story. And I just think the moment-to-moment gameplay wasn't as engaging and wasn't as oomphy as I wanted. But yeah, seeing this pop off, seeing people go crazy for E-Day was absolutely spectacular when we were at the presentation.
At the end of the day, Gears fans want Marcus. That's just it. They want Marcus. It's like, now I know that there was Reach that didn't have, Master Chief in it, but I just think that Halo fans want Marcus. You got to have Marcus in it as the main character, not as a side character, and that's what's going to sell the games for the Gears fans. Just keep it here.
Yeah.
You can string this out now, starting back at E-Day. And for those of you that don't know what E-Day is, that's Emergence Day. That's when, again, the Locusts first came out of the ground. You can make this go for 10 iterations of games. Don't be a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to make this match up with Gears 1 right away. That's the big thing. Take your time. Let the story just, evolve. And there's enough, just so you guys are aware, there's enough storyline for them to keep this going, because I read all the comics, I read all the novels. There's enough to make 10 games. So, there's no need to hurry to match it up to Gears 1.
Yeah. The next game that is on my list, I put this one here because I'm surprised you forgot about it, is Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. We are huge Lego video game fans, and after seeing this game trailer come out from Gamescom and also hearing people talk about how the game actually played at Gamescom, I am so excited to see a full-on open world Lego Batman video game. We talked about this before on the podcast, and I don't want to get too much more into the weeds, but this looks to be taking the Lego formula to the next step, also incorporating, Batman Arkham combat into the game, and also doing all of the movies, including the Christopher Nolan films, which are some of my favorite movies of all time. I am so stoked for Lego Batman, and I'm excited to get back into the Lego video game space.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I would have put this on my list, but you told me to keep it pared down. So it definitely would. And I'm glad that it's going back to, who's the studio that does this?
TT Games, I believe.
There you go. Because the Lego game, because I played every Lego game that's come out, and the Horizon Dawn one I thought was garbage, and it was not made by TT Games. And I'm glad to see that it goes back to them at this point. But I did not like and I love the Horizon Dawn on PlayStation. I just couldn't stand it. Wasn't a true Lego game. So I'm super stoked about this one. Can't wait to play it.
Yeah. I'm so excited to see what this game is going to be once it comes out next year. The last game that I do have, and then I have actually a couple more honorable mentions, but I just wanted to show a video of this because this game really speaks to me as a fighting game person. This one was shown at the Xbox Showcase this year, absolutely popped off and continues to pop off with footage. This is Invincible Versus. This is a new tag team fighter, but for me, I love Invincible, the show, and I've read the entire comic book. Invincible is an incredible superhero story. It's incredible superhero satire. And them bringing in the violence of Mortal Kombat, but also the tag team fighting of Marvel versus Capcom, throwing it in the Invincible universe and just allowing it to be full ultra violent like the Invincible comic and the show, and seeing how tight the gameplay looks, how fluid it looks, and having these cast of characters actually be put to the limelight. I absolutely love the Invincible characters, and I'm so happy that they're getting the love that they deserve. This looks awesome, and I cannot wait to actually get my hands on the sticks and play more Invincible Versus. The closed beta is happening very soon, so people are actually going to be able to check out the beta and see what it's all about. But I've seen a lot of people say this game is shaping up to be really good. I have a close friend of mine at work who's a big fighting game person. Got a chance to play this at Evo, and they were like, "Oh shit! Like this is the real deal. Like Invincible Versus is going to make a splash in the fighting game scene."
I agree, and I love Invincible as well. And as I said earlier, like when it comes to fighting games, like I love them. Big Mortal Kombat guy, I said, but I'll be excited for about a week playing it, and then I'll probably move on. But I will 100% get this and play this. It's just that I don't know that I'm super excited that I look at a game that I'm going to be playing for, you know, 70, 80 hours plus. It's not a game that I would put down as something that I'm looking forward to in 2026.
Yeah, I want a good fighter again, and Invincible, I think, is just a good IP to do it. A couple more honorable mentions that I totally just forgot about because I didn't see them in the confirmed release dates, but I know they're coming out next year. Onimusha Wave the Swords, I got to play that at PAX. Onimusha is shaping up to be an incredible hack and slash game, and bringing back the Onimusha franchise at this kind of fidelity, I think looks absolutely awesome, and the gameplay felt super great to play. The next one was from the Xbox Showcase is Mudang 2 Hearts. This is a South Korean game, and it is looking like Metal Gear Solid meets Splinter Cell. It has a very tactical soldier feel to it. It looks pretty fucking sweet, and I'm super excited for it. The next one is Mouse PI for Hire. This game has been shown quite a bit now, but it's that Cuphead looking art style, but you are a detective, and it has that BioShock feel that you were talking about, and I'm really excited because this looks like to be the major indie hit of 2026. And the other game that I just want to call out because I'm a huge fan of the series is the new Plague Tale game that is coming out. I think it's called Resonance or Dissonance. I'm trying to find it here. Oh boy, where is it? It is Resonance, a Plague Tale Legacy that also comes out next year. And this is going to be more of a side story within the Plague Tale universe, focusing on a character that you play as you met in Requiem, but you're going to be playing as them. So those are the other quick shout outs that I wanted to do. I know we don't have too much more time, but I just wanted to be like, yeah, I'm also super excited for these games. Oh, and Reanimal. Reanimal is a new game made by the Little Nightmares 1 and 2 studio. So I think what 2026 is showing is we're having a wide range of smaller to large games, but all of them look like to be at super high quality. And I think we're going to be in for a major treat next year with 2026. Unfortunately, the wallets are going to be hurting. My time is going to be hurting. So we'll see how it all shakes out.
It's 100% the time. Like I said, in past podcasts, like even 2025, I've never had a backlog stack up this much for me. Like it's time. It's not even the wallet, it's the time. Like it's just so hard to play every game that I want to play anymore. And it's at the point where I got to get super selective of what I want to try.
Yeah, and I fully agree. It's now you got to be selective with your time and how do you want to prioritize these games coming out, along with going back to games that you've already missed from the last few years, because this data has been nothing but heat, especially the last 2 years between 2023, 2024, and 2025. Like there's so many games that I missed out on that I still need to play. But yeah, gamers are eating good. That's all I got to say. Do you have anything else to say about why 2026 is stacked?
No, and I just again, it's just I'm happy to see that it's a good place that I don't have enough time to play all these games. I'm happy to see that the video game industry continues to grow, continues to thrive, and
Yes.
it continues to put out some solid quality games. Like you said, I don't think we're starving for any quality games at this point.
But my other big wish for 2026, and this is the what I'll end with, is even though we're having a lot of great games coming out, we also need to start respecting the developers a little bit more. The developers are hardworking artists, and given the current state of the industry, I think we need to be able to protect them more, and I think we need to shed light on them more. And I think as an industry, we are thriving, but we need to continue to be better about a lot of other things and support the people who are actually making these games.
As do I, 100%. But I still believe that one of the ways to do that is don't make the billion-dollar games, cut down the time, make a 20-hour game so you get the revenue and you keep the people employed and keep moving. I think we've got a little out of sorts thinking that your game has to be 150 hours like that.
Yeah.
I don't know where the tipping point is, and I'd like to go back and look. Like, where was the tipping point in the gaming history that said, "Oh man, your game has to be 100 plus hours for it to hit"?
I mean, it started to, I think we started to see the shift towards the end of the 360 generation. Xbox One generation is where it really, PS4 generation is where it really got into the weeds of that. And now we're just seeing the continuation of that. So, well, because it's, I'll leave it with this. It's one of those things where we just talked about how time is the new current. Time has always been a currency, but especially in the gaming world, time is a premium currency. And every developer and studio wants you to stick with their games. So how are they going to do that? Because not only are you competing with live service titles that are free to play, such as Fortnite, such as Apex Legends, and so on. There's other games that are paid well, but they have such unique ideas that they can do it. But when you have time as such a premium currency, and people are saying they want to feel validated for the purchase that they made, you start to see these games become super long because they want to make sure that you stay invested with them.
But that's what I said in past stuff. If you make shorter games, less development time, lower the price because it's not taking you a 10-year dev cycle,
Yeah.
lower that price, you're going to stand out.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's not a $70 game, it's a $40 game that's okay, it's gonna be a 25-hour game, but now when you look at the currency as being its time, and then you look at the pricing, which a lot of people bitch about,
Yeah.
"Oh my goodness, it's going up to $70." That's where I think the sweet spot is, and I've said this before. Movies, there's movies nowadays are probably some of the best times in movies. Television shows are some of the best television
Yeah.
shows of all time, and then games. So when I look at my 3, let's say, leisure time consumers, I gotta look and say now the video games are competing with my television or my movie time.
Yeah.
So, I don't think video games are just competing with video games. I think because the currency of time, they're competing with banger movies and banger
Well,
TV shows.
and it's like it's funny, people kind of dogged on the comment, but there is some kind of truth to it that the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, came out and said one of Xbox's gaming platform's biggest competitor is TikTok. And on the surface, it's like, why would you say it's TikTok? But if you actually think about the logistics of it, it makes sense as we talk about time as a premium currency because so many younger people who, gaming, like the drives gaming, their time is being consumed by that short form content and just swiping up and up and up. So now it's like, how do you get that mentality into the gaming space? And that's why I think it's a very interesting comment to say that TikTok is gaming's biggest competitor, because there is some truth to that I think is a lot more complex and deeper than just like, oh, it's a mobile app. It's really not where it is, because TikTok is taking up so much of people's times where that time was once spent in gaming. So,
But see, then again, you're bringing it back to exactly what I said, making shorter games. Because when you look at the free to play, I don't just use Fortnite. If I only have 45 minutes, I can jump on to Fortnite play my 45 minutes and get out.
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty hard for me to jump into a, a game. Just take Deliverance, for example. Jumping into there 45 minutes, you got next to nothing done.
Yeah.
So if you're saying that TikTok, because of the short form, now listen to this. People complain about $70. People complain that it takes 7 years to get the next iteration of that game out. Shorten the dev time, shorten the amount of money that they're going to spend on it, and make 20 and 25-hour games. And I'm not saying eliminate the 100-hour games. Not saying that. I'm just saying I think that there's a sweet spot in there that nobody's tapping into for gamers.
Yeah. Yeah, could be. But that could be a conversation for another day of just kind of like the economical and business practices behind it. But we are the Father and Son Gaming Podcast, and you can find us right here on Active Reload Gaming on all these socials. Once again, don't forget, in the top left corner is our Discord. Feel free to scan that QR code and hop in and start chatting with us. Trying to build a whole community as well. We are live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, with a new topic each and every week. Like I said, this one was also pre-recorded, so we will see you guys live next time, I believe, on December 8th. So very much stay tuned for that podcast. I think it's going to be a real exciting one as we've been building up towards it. That being said, we'd like to thank each and every one of you. We hope you had a good holiday if you were celebrating it in the U.S. with Thanksgiving. If not, we also hope you had a great rest of your week. And we hope you have a great rest of your current week as well. So with that, we will see you all next time.